Estamos vendo o programa da competição.
Aí, gente, estamos vendo o programa da competição, meia-noite 35 aqui em Manchester, na Inglaterra. Olha lá, ó, jogo Brasil e Irlanda.
Brasil e Irlanda. Irlanda botou a bola na trave.
Messing with a free kick. And here's Evans. Marcus Ferreira, the goalkeeper, again showing his vulnerability in the air. Matthias Calvin. Brazil moving the ball around very smoothly. And Vanderson Oliveira has caught the underside of the crossbar. Fernandez!
Caralho!
Splendid save by McGilvery.
Lance do gol do Brasil.
Moved on towards Matthias Calvo, who's had a go and found the bottom corner. Brazil in front. Less than 2 minutes of the second half played, and it's Matthias Calvo who's made the breakthrough. Corner's been taken short.
Pô, tomara que tem um gráfico bom, cara.
Helped on by Luciano, left by Vanderson.
Tá bom,
It's
cara.
back with Vanderson. Luciano! Brilliant reactions again by McGilvery. Luciano. Vanderson. Yet again, it's McGilvery who's been able to get down. Markey Orr's given the ball away here to Vanderson. And it's trickled in for another goal to Brazil. It may well have been an own goal by Luke Evans. It was a horrible error by Joe Markey initially. Vanderson bearing down on goal. And it was Vanderson's goal. It was nicked against his shins by Evans.
Ó o meu gol, hein, gente, o meu gol.
Luciano. Bourguignon.
Bourguignon.
Only just on as a substitute. It was fantastic skill initially by Luciano. Lovely touch as well by Bourguignon.
Ó o lance do passe que eu dei, hein.
Vanderson. And suddenly the pitch has opened up for Vanderson Oliveira. It's on again towards Zeku Guimarães. Brazil have another goal. There was a breathtaking
Agora vai
counter
sair
by
o meu gol.
Vanderson.
Fico olhando.
Agora é o do Mané, o do Negão, hein.
Ó, olha só o gol do moleque.
Luciano. It's a fit for Brazil. One of the newcomers to their squad, Emmanuel Oliveira, gets on the score sheet.
Acabou, o Brasil ganhou, olha lá, Paulinho.
But Brazil can look forward to the gold medal fixture on Saturday now. It's Brazil 5, the Republic of Ireland 0.
Had to find a strategy to try to enter the hard defense that they made very well, and the keeper was in a marvelous day. I think, in my opinion, was the best player of the match, and I was sure when we scored first, then the things would be easier. But the Irish team, we know that they had this kind of defense, this kind of way of playing, and I told my guys that they would have to be very patient. So that's what happened, and I'm very happy with them.
Well, Danny, we saw the Brazilian coach just there say how the Irish keeper, McGilvery, was really what kept them in the game for so long.
It was fantastic, you know, to get beaten by that score and the goalkeeper be man of the match. Just goes to show how good he was. Again, they started off quite well, the Irish. You know, Snell hit the post and the game could have been so different. But then I think, you know, quality told, unfortunately. And unfortunately for yourself, the Irish got a bit of a beating.
They'll have their day again.
They will do.
This Brazil team are looking very tasty, aren't they? Scored some lovely goals. You know, goals that have got skill, goals that have got teamwork, sort of everything.
Well, again, they look like
Meu
typically
gol.
Brazilian
Ah,
team.
eu vou
You know,
mostrar
they've
meu
got
gol de
silky
novo.
skills, very composed on the ball. You see, they're happy to try things. You know, and that's I think what we know Brazilian football is all about. You know, that close control. And these have also beaten
Olha lá, eles estão
Ukraine
mostrando meu gol,
in recent
porra!
months, which I think were Paralympic champions. So, although I think currently ranked 4th in the world at the moment, Brazil are probably pushing towards the top 3, and I think they'll be a real threat come the Paralympics.
But in Beijing, there was a massive result between the top 3, that being Russia, Iran, and Ukraine, and anybody else, including Brazil. What have they been doing, and what have GB been doing to catch up with the top?
Well, I think it's difficult for GB because obviously generally it's the England team. The GB team doesn't get together that often, and it's almost thrown together in the last 6 months. They don't have as much training together. But Lyndon, the coach, has been working really hard, sending out fitness programs have been an absolute key, and you've seen a lot of young players coming through as well that are really starting to show. And like I said, it's almost that naivety where they go out and play without fear, and they're showing off their silky skills as well. So I think England have a really good chance. Their ambition is to get on the podium, and I think they'll have a great chance of doing that.
Really?
Of course.
Wow.
We know that it is very big words. I like these words. We know that Brazil are through to the gold medal match. It now kind of comes down to this crunch match between GB and the Republic of Ireland. I'm going to ask you to call it. Who's going to win?
I've got to go with GB, haven't I?
Yes.
Of course. But I think, having seen the games, I think they were unlucky, the GB against Brazil. There was 2 individual errors that cost them dear. Their finishing against the USA was fantastic, and maybe Ireland didn't qualify, obviously, for the Paralympics, so maybe they're just behind GB at the moment.
Now, we spoke about cerebral palsy and how that affects those players on the pitch, but there's also players with brain injuries playing out there. Alistair Heselton, for example. How are they impacted playing football?
Well, again, a lot of them have concentration difficulties, spatial awareness, and it's all the different classifications is really complicated at times. But I think that's speaking to most of the guys, that they have impairments, whether that be memory or even learning difficulties, of remembering things. Sometimes forgetting set pieces or forgetting where you're supposed to be on the pitch at a certain time. Learning a different skill is difficult. But they work very, very hard. Lyndon has to be very, very patient with them at times. Does a fantastic job, and I think now he's pleased. He's secretly, I think, really looking forward, not just to this tournament, but of course for the Paralympics as well.
We can just have a quick reminder how the table is looking. Brazil at the top there, unbeaten, and Great Britain will be playing Ireland tomorrow to see who will face the Brazilians in the gold medal match.
Now, if you're new to Paralympic competition, you probably are familiar enough with football, but bocce is a whole new ball game. It's similar to bowls.